Hey guys, welcome to Simplicity. So, the question of the day is, do you ever go through life and think to yourself, wow, I must be a complete idiot for this to happen? Because, say for instance, something happens and immediately you think back on that instance and it's completely your fault and you just regret everything, and even like making certain decisions or um just going about it the wrong way. You just regret everything and just think to yourself, I am responsible for my idiocy. I am just so stupid that this couldn't have possibly happened if I actually chose to think for once in a while. So, yesterday was one of those days and it's just kind of annoying. So, I have work at 8 o'clock in the morning and I just don't like traffic, so I try to get up really early, but I don't pretend to be a morning person. I actually really hate mornings. So I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like getting ready and like everything, but and I'm super tired and I was completely out of it. But before I like left to go to work, which is like about 50 minutes away in traffic, um, I chose to, go to the bathroom before, you're going to be stuck in traffic for like 50 minutes. So I actually went there, but I must have been so tired that I just didn't realize that this iPhone 4S that I've had for 2 years now was in my back pocket, and it slipped out and it fell directly in the toilet. Now, before you say anything, the toilet was empty. I didn't even do anything. It just kind of fell out before anything happened. So I immediately like went into savior mode and I like pulled it out there and I was like, oh gosh, my OCD germaphobe self is like, ew. And so I washed my hands and I washed this, well, not with water, but I like got some hand sanitizer and I like cleaned it off and I was like, oh gosh, I hope it's okay. I got a blow dryer. I tried blowing like to cool or to dry it. I got a towel. I threw it in a bag of rice because, I'm Asian and you always have rice. So, uh, but unfortunately, I left it in that rice for several hours. Like probably, I don't know, like 13, 14 hours. And I came back, it wasn't working. And my mom was like, hey, you know what, let's just go to AT&T and see like what they can do. And I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. Let's go. Um, if anything, like we'll just figure out what is saved and what's not. So we ended up going there around like, I don't know, like 6 o'clock at night, and they took a look at it, but they tore it apart and they finally realized that there's really basically nothing that they can do to save it. Um, they said even if they could, I'd have to take it to an Apple store, and the amount of work that Apple would have to do would probably, the price would actually add up to being like the equivalent to a new phone nowadays. And they would try to pressure me to buy an iPhone 6 anyways because, it's the latest and greatest thing. So, but since I have had the iPhone 4S for about 2 years, I mean, I'm scheduled. I was scheduled with AT&T to update or to upgrade my phone next month, like exactly a month from now. And so I went into there and they were like, oh, you know what? You can actually upgrade it early because, you're so close to your due date, which, that was really nice. Thank you, AT&T. I really appreciate that. Um, so now I am the happy owner of an iPhone 5S. Now you're probably wondering, why don't I have the 6 or the 6 Plus, because, latest and greatest thing. I did, it took me a while because I wasn't actually mentally prepared for buying a new phone. Normally when I'm going to buy a new phone, I have to take like 2 weeks minimum in order to like research it and like figure out which one I'm going to buy or upgrade to. So, and do price comparisons and all this other stuff. Long story short, that didn't happen because, I wasn't preparing to drop my phone in a toilet. So, anyways, I was looking at this one. I looked also at the 5C. I didn't like it. My brother's had that for a year and a half now, and he's kind of not really stoked about it. So I didn't want that. Plus, it looks really plasticky, and I don't know. It just kind of reminds me of a Lego brick, which I don't want to be carrying around a Lego brick. I want something a little bit chicer and classier because, you know, this is simplicity. I need to keep it simple and classy. Anyway, so I also looked at the 6 because a lot of my friends have upgraded to the 6, and, you know, it's like, oh yes, you know, we're such Apple nerds, and we have all Macs and like everything. So, you know, good for you. Um but I held it in my hand, and honestly, I have big hands. Like, I have really big hands for a girl, but I didn't even feel like my hands were big enough to even hold the phone. I like being able to do this with my phone, even with my 4S, like, which is a little bit fatter than my 5S right now. I still like am able to hold it like this. With the 6, it's like that. And I just felt like I could drop it at any moment, and I would basically create this like circle of uncertainty that I could possibly, my klutziness would like interfere with the safety and like security of this phone. Like, I just don't want to jeopardize that with my idiocy. That obviously is the reason why I'm getting this phone in the first place. And honestly, it's super expensive. I don't know if you checked the prices out for iPhone 6s. It's just ridiculous. I'm just stunned by it. And even the salesman who was trying to get me onto the bandwagon was actually like criticizing Apple's, I don't know, movement towards the iPhone 6. He was really upset that they didn't provide a 32 gigabyte version of the phone, well, like of data for the phone. They only went from 16 gigabytes to 64. So you would be spending like $199 for the 16 gigabytes, and then you drop to like, or you jump to like 300, or no, like over $300 for the 64. I don't have that kind of money, especially if you're only going to have the phone for like 2 years, and that's not really guaranteed that it's going to last that long. Because look at it, like, my other one just barely made it to like 2 years, and I've dropped that thing like so many times. Like, if you look close on it, it's cracked. I don't know if it's gonna focus. Yeah, you can see all the cracks on the edges and stuff. There's a huge crack over here. This thing's beat up, and, you know, honestly, I'm not gonna spend over $300 on a phone that I'm gonna use like almost every day, because, you know, that's society nowadays. But honestly, this one is 32 gigabytes, and it's still cheaper than the 16 gigabyte of iPhone 6. So I'm sorry. I appreciate your comments. I didn't like the physical feel of the phone in my hand, and I did not like the price. It was just too much, and even the salesman said that there's not that much difference from what he's heard from his customers. The feedback is that iPhone 5S and then iPhone 6, only big difference is the camera, which, yes, I'm going to use to take selfies and stuff, but, like, honestly, this is a lot better camera than my 4S, so I'm okay with it. And the size. That's basically the only difference. So if you can live with those differences, then good for you, but, like, honestly, that's not worth $200 more than this. So, you know, I'm okay with this. I'm really happy with it. It's sparkly. I got this phone case at Best Buy, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. I got the gold version, and yeah, it's very chic and very simple. I wanted a case that definitely was semi-clear. I really wanted to show off the back of the gold because I think the gold is really gorgeous. So yeah, and the sparkles just kind of add to that like fairy dust effect. So it kind of just seems magical to me. So I've had this all day, and honestly, I hate getting upgraded phones because it's just a pain. I mean, yes, it's fun to get a new toy and stuff, but you spend basically about 3 days trying to customize it to basically be like your old phone, but like, better. And honestly, here's a complaint I have. I hate how, yes, the iCloud does save you a whole bunch of like time by like basically keeping what you've already downloaded, and like saves all the data stored into that app. I really do appreciate that. But I hate the time and effort it takes to go and research every single app that you've had, because I can't go on my old phone and figure out which apps I have had in the past. I have to know it by memory, and I have to re-download it, and it takes so much time, so much effort, and so much battery life to try to download every single thing. And they gave me this phone with like only 1% of battery, so it's like it's not like I had to do it, or I got the chance to do it right after I bought the phone. I actually had to wait until it charged up, and then I had to download all of those things, and then by the time it finished downloaded everything, like it was back to 1%. So I'm just kind of fed up in that regard. Then I had to start like actually customizing it, like, sorting it through what kind of like categories I wanted to do. If you have an iPhone, you can agree with me. I don't know if Samsung Galaxies do that yet, because they're trying to be like iPhones. We're better. I'm sorry. And but it's just annoying, and I'm still trying to customize it. It's been like over a day now, and I'm just kind of over this right now. Not over the phone. I like it a lot. I just if I could like pay somebody to customize my phone for me, like I'm willing to do that. Like I'm just so over it right now. I don't got time for that. I have been at work all day, and so on my break and stuff, I've been trying to like do this. Um, it doesn't have any like my ringtone. I don't even know what my ringtone is on this. I don't even know what any of my alerts are supposed to sound like. It's just kind of a mess. So, anyways, I'm just figuring that out, and I just wanted to tell you guys what was going on. Um, but yeah, taking 12 minutes to talk about this. Sorry about that. Anyways, that's it. I'll I'll see. I can't even talk. I guess I'll see you in my next video.